I'm here with an Amy's frozen vegetable pot pie and my Dash egg bite maker. Let's see how well this pot pie cooks in the egg bite maker. Counter cooking. No kitchen, no problem. So I've made several videos now about cooking frozen pot pies in various mini appliances, and something that I've been curious about is cooking a pot pie in this egg bite maker without keeping it in the paper bowl that it comes in. Like if I take it out of the paper bowl and put it in the egg bite maker, my theory is that the top should get crispy and the bottom should also get crispy because they're both touching heated surfaces. So I'd like to try that out and see if that is indeed true. I also am trying out a different brand of pot pie. I was in a local organic market and saw these. These are Amy's organic vegetable pot pies. They looked really interesting. The ingredients looked better than the ingredients of the Banquet pot pies. And this was $3.99, so it's quite a bit more expensive than $1.25 per pot pie. But again, I'm just really curious as to what the difference is. So let's try cooking this. This one looks very different from the Banquet pot pies. I don't see the scalloped edges like the Banquet has, and I also noticed that this one already has a hole poked in the middle. And check this out, look at this. Look how easy that comes out of the bowl. So here's the bowl, and it just comes out super easy. So let's put this in the egg bite maker. Here's my concern, is it gonna fit? Wow, look at that. So the crust, this is actually bigger than the Banquet pot pies, but maybe as it cooks and the crust softens a little bit, this will eventually shut more. I don't know. Maybe I need to just turn it. I don't know. We're going to see. The instructions say in a conventional oven, preheat it to 350. Remove the wrapping, place on a baking sheet, bake for 50 to 55 minutes. So that's quite a long time. And if a glaze is desired, brush top with butter or milk and honey after first 20 minutes. So let's bake this for 20 minutes and see how it does after 20 minutes. From what I can tell from looking in the sides is that these pot pies are actually thicker. And maybe that is why the top is not closing. Because the crust seems to be fitting inside, it's just a lot higher. It's been about 20 minutes now, so let's see what's going on here. That's what the pie looks like. And I'm going to test the temperature. Let's see what's going on inside. Okay, yeah, we still have a ways to go. We're only at like less than 120. So let's shut this. And it's actually closing farther now as this pot pie cooks. I guess it's like compressing down a little bit. So I'm gonna cook this for another 20 minutes. It's 10 minutes later. I left the room and I just walked back into the room and I'm hearing all kinds of cooking happening, but I'm also seeing that the egg bite maker is completely closed. So I think this pie collapsed. Yeah, so the pie collapsed and some of the filling is coming out over here, but that's fine. Now the pie's fitting very well in there. And actually, I'm wondering if I should take the temperature of it again to see if it's done. One thing that I have to say is this pie smells delicious. This pie is making the whole room smell like Thanksgiving. And guess what? This is done. This is done. So it's over 200 and it took 30 minutes. So it's a lot quicker in an egg bite maker than a conventional oven. All right, let's see if we could remove this with the spatula. Here's the pot pie. I can't wait to cut into it. Okay, so it looks like the top is nice and flaky and crisp. How's the bottom? Let me just try the top crust and see what's going on here. The top crust is crispy and flaky. It almost tastes like it's a whole wheat crust. Let's taste the bottom crust next. And the bottom crust It's softer than the top crust, but it still has a tiny little bit of crispiness to it. I think obviously the bottom crust is going to be different because all the filling is sitting on the bottom crust versus on the top crust. But it's not like just complete mush like it would be if I cooked this in the paper bowl. Yeah, it's softer on the bottom, but it still has texture. And it seems that, yes, this is a whole wheat crust. And as far as pot pies go, this is really good. Like, for a frozen pot pie, this is really good. Personally, I think it's worth the extra few dollars to buy one of these versus the Banquet pot pies. If someone's on a really, really tight budget, then obviously the Banquet ones are better. But if someone has a few more dollars to spend, yeah, it's definitely worth spending a few more dollars. This came out really nice and the crust is good. I kind of want to lift up the crust to see about like the filling inside, but I don't want to really ruin it, so I'm just going to enjoy it. And these pieces that look like chicken, they're actually tofu. And I'm not a big fan of tofu at all. I usually hate tofu, but those actually aren't bad. And if I was giving this to someone and told them it was a chicken pot pie, I don't think they would ever know those are tofu. I don't think they would ever know. Because when you get the Banquet chicken pot pie, for example, those pieces of chicken, they're kind of suspect to begin with. So I think as far as with these mini appliances, this is the best way to cook one of these frozen pot pies. Take it out of the paper bowl and just put it in the Dash egg bite maker without anything on top or on the bottom, and it cooks really nice. I don't know if you could see this, but the bottom crust is not burnt at all. So the bottom crust does not burn. The top gets nicely browned. If you wanted to, you could put some butter on the bottom of the Dash egg bite maker, even on the top of the egg bite maker, if you want it more of like almost like a fried crust versus more of a dried baked crust. But yeah, doing it this way is definitely the best way to do it because you do get a nice crispy top and the bottom still retains some integrity versus just getting all mushy in the paper bowl. And so this is probably the best way to cook a frozen pot pie in a Dash egg bite maker. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see what else we can make with these mini appliances. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.